All right, I just started it. I'll send you the link.
Yeah. You gonna send it to me in Telegram?
Yeah, I'll send it to you in Telegram.
Cool. There we go.
What's up, Cred? Good to see you in here already. I know you've just been sitting there waiting for this. All right, so we're just gonna send out the link real quick, wait for everyone to get in here, and then we'll start in about a minute, minute and a half.
See some familiar names. Eli, big cred in the house.
All right. Cred, did you stream today? Cred, I missed it. If you did.
We would never, Eli. Let me send this out.
Yep, let me throw this in my Telegram. I need to just make like a macro button to send out all my live stream info. I'm behind with the times.
So what do you think support? 7,600?
Dude, I'm worried. I'm worried.
You're worried? Are you one of those like 3K guys?
I was for a while. You know I was that for a while. People were getting so mad at me. I was bearish for like a month and a half.
I don't know why they get mad. It's like you know you have to go with what you believe. It's not something to get mad about.
I was in a perma bull phase for a while. There's like 2 months, no, not even 2, probably like 4 or 5 months where I was just in this perma bull phase, and if I wasn't in that perma bull phase, would have saw things way quicker.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to get started? Let's switch it over.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. So I figure usually what I do on Tuesdays, I talk about the market a little bit.
Okay.
Switch it to us. Scene. I'm assuming the audio is good, or everyone would have said something. So I'd like to start off just talking about what I see in the market right now. I usually start off at Bitcoin, move into Ethereum, and then obviously our favorites. We'll be quick on Bitcoin and Ethereum because I got you on the stream, and I'd rather talk about alts. So, Bitcoin, I just got back home to look at. It looks like we're chilling at 7,700. We're pretty close on this support. It's got to be 7,600, 7,700. I feel like there's going to be a bounce, and it's going to be a pretty significant bounce.
It's about 7,600 is the level that I'm paying attention to.
So, I mean, you got to be honest. Are you bearish or are you bullish? Or are you just waiting it out till we get there?
I'm bullish, man.
You're bullish? You know I'm bullish again, too. I'm
bearish until perhaps like mid-April, but at this point, I'm just of the opinion that it's too late to really do anything unless you're a margin trader, which I'm not, and like to sell and try to buy cheaper. I just feel like what am I going to get? 10%, 20% tops, and that's based on me timing it perfectly. I feel like the upside is so much more just to stay invested at this point. I mean, had we done this move, when we're at 15K or 14K, or when you did it, I think you did it at 11K. That makes sense. I remember that was a great call.
Thanks. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough getting out then. I thought I was FOMOing. I was like, what if the market just turns around? I'm going to get back into everything 20 or 30% later. I got lucky, but I agree with you right now, really. Like the positions that I picked up a couple days ago when I said I got back in the market, I can't sell those right now. I would feel like an idiot selling those right now just because of where they're at compared to what they were. And something I've been noticing again, if you go to CoinMarketCap, you look at every single chart, the market cap's like back where it was at in January of last year. Not even of this year. Some of them are back to January of like all the way back last year, 2017. And so
You're talking about specific coins?
Yeah, like some of the older coins have went through this crazy
Oh,
market cycle, and they dropped all the way back to, like market cap at the start of 2017. And I'm looking like if I don't pick up these coins right now, I'd have to be dumb. And you guys know, I posted the Instagram screenshot of what I'm holding right now. I think you do that too now as well.
every
Every
now and
once in a
again I
while,
do
dude,
it. Yeah, I'm
it's
not a big
really good.
fan of it.
It's kind of a pain in the ass to
Because then
do.
you get 20 messages, no no Stratus, no OMG. It's like I just posted my Blockfolio. Don't ask me if I have the
And
coin.
then I'll
I
literally go
clearly don't
back.
have it.
I'll search through my wallets and be like, "Am I holding this?" And I forgot it. The one I always get is where's Shift. Because I love Shift. I think it's a
Oh
great
yeah,
project.
yeah.
It's just no one wants to buy it for some reason. So I'm just waiting to get back into that one.
What's with the dislikes? Somebody's been like
Some,
following me everywhere. Somebody's mad at me, I think, man. So
I mean, when we did the Whiskey Wednesday, would we have like 400 dislikes on the
yeah,
first minute?
yeah, man. I,
It,
I don't know. I pissed somebody off along the way, apparently.
it's all right.
Um,
I'm sure you made a lot more people happy than the one guy
I
you
think
pissed
my
off that's buying bots.
my chest may have offended someone, you know.
So going to the next thing right now, this is what I'm actually most worried about. Have you looked at ETHUSD today?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I mean, it's hard to tell where the support is on it, uh, but
Because I felt like we were at support at like 470, 480, but then we just tanked right through it. And now I'm looking right now, we're sitting at 444. And my biggest worry in the market right now is if ETH drops below 400, I think. I think if ETH drops below 400 and Bitcoin drops below like 6,900, we're just going to be kind of screwed. Uh,
hmm.
And so I've been watching ETH honestly more closely than Bitcoin because we all know ETH's usually correlated to the rest of the market. As far as like ETH will usually pump a little bit before the alts pump. And I've just been watching ETH plummet. It's just been plummeting. And
I
so,
think it's because ICOs suck right now too.
yeah. Do you think that a lot of ICOs are finally dumping their ETH to try and save their positions?
They are. They actually are. Because it's not about saving positions, but they want to make sure that they have, capital to keep their projects going. But I think the other part also is people aren't aggressively looking to enter ICOs at the moment. And in my opinion, I always kind of take a contrarian stance. And you got to think of it this way. In January, where the market was hot, and December, everybody was doing every ICO. They were oversaturated. People were every ICO was selling out in pre-sale. And now, being that those ICOs didn't perform well, people are a little bit hesitant. However, 6 weeks, 8 weeks from now, the market could be in a very different state. And I believe that it will be. I think it's going to be a better market for altcoin trading as well as Bitcoin trading. And the ICOs that people are doing today and tomorrow and next week and whatnot, that list in May, June, could be the ones that perform very well. And a good example of that would be looking back to last October, September, where we were picking coins that had just released their ICO. We were on Ether Delta buying at half ICO
I miss
price.
those
Um,
days.
yeah, and they exist right now. Like the coins that we're picking up, a lot of them are at ICO or pre-sale price. But think about Dragon Chain. I believe they raised about 25 mil or 20 mil. Had they been in ICO phase in January, they probably would have raised 80 million or 100 million,
No,
maybe more.
I think Dragon only raised like 12 or 16. It was crazy. I
It,
was
it,
telling
it was a
everyone, I was like,
it
I
was a
put I
very
put a
small amount.
significant important part of my portfolio into Dragon because I was like, this is too good to be true. This is one of those coins
Right.
that regardless, it's gonna go up. And so once they got listed on Ether Delta at like a 5 or 6x, I still told people I was like, this thing's gonna really go crazy. We're only looking
That
at
was a great call.
$40 million market cap. But so I'm seeing the same thing right now on IDEX though, and you were just getting into that where all these ICOs get listed and they're a fourth, some of them, of their ICO price. A good one, for example, is Dottie, like DADI. I know there's a
Yeah.
bunch of FUD about it and everything, but the ICO price was 50 cents. It's trading at like 18 cents right now. That's one of those coins that, I picked up a little bit the other day. That's the kind of thing that really has the huge returns when the
Yeah.
market turns
Yeah.
around.
Someone just asked about Chip Chain. That's another one
Ship
that
chain?
had a little FUD around it. But the price is right. That's why I picked up T Food. price was right.
Yeah, you mentioned you just pick up T-Food. What exactly is that one?
T-Food is a supply chain management, like an RFID type coin, similar to, the Waltons of the world, but they're specializing in kind of like the food industry in Vietnam to start. And there's already an existing business, so there's a use case, but they'll be tracking the supply chain of animals, food products, produce, things of that nature. And, at an 8 million cap, it was very attractive to me because I compare it to, the other projects. And I can't compare. So I see people saying it's going to be the next Venn. I don't believe that. But compared to like Modem, which is more niche, Ambrosius,
Or even like, isn't Origin
Wabi,
Trail similar to that? The
Origin
track.
Trail, yes.
These supply
Yes.
chain logistics ones really go crazy, and we saw,
Yeah, Referium is also a good example.
see, I'm a little bit behind on alts right now. I haven't been doing as much research as usual, so I missed a lot of these newer ICOs, and I'm just starting to get into them now. And luckily they're at a fraction of the price. I'm trying to hop on IDEX right now on my other monitor to look into what I've been seeing. There's a ton of questions in the comments. We're skimming through them. At the end, we'll do an AMA where we'll get into the comments and we can answer whatever questions you guys have. But the next thing I want to hit on before we get into any questions is all these USD pairings coming out. I haven't really talked to many people about it on streams and gotten my viewpoints or other people's viewpoints about it. So let's talk about that for a second. So what we know, Binance and Bittrex are both about to put out USD pairings in some way, shape, or form. Coinbase announced ERC20 token integration, which I'm assuming they're going to list at least a couple coins versus USD. I keep getting that question. What do you think is going to list first? I'm gonna make a video about it. I got 3 picks that I think will.
You said for Coinbase?
Yeah, I got 3 picks I think will be some of the first ones. ZRX isn't in it, to be honest. But anyways,
I think Ethereum Classic is probably almost certainly going to be on there.
I think Ethereum Classic, Omai's Go. I really think Omai's Go will be.
But Ethereum Classic, because they already support Ethereum,
Yep.
and being that it's the fork, it just they have everything built in where it would be a very smooth addition for them.
And there's been so many rumors about it, and a bunch of people told me
Yeah.
Q2 that would be the first coin that Coinbase lists after Bitcoin Cash. And then someone said in the comments, Bat. Bat's the third one I think will get listed. I think Omai's Go,
Why
ETC,
Bat
and
though?
Bat.
Why? But don't you think they would want a coin that has tremendous volume?
I think that they'll bring so much volume that they don't really care, and they're going to list tokens that they want to be
They
affiliated
think just
with.
whatever they list will be.
This is my viewpoint on it. Like, they know that no matter what they list, it's regardless of how they list it, it's going to pump like crazy. There's nothing they can do about it. The most that they can do is try and limit, the insider trading on it of telling people before. But no matter what they list, they could list $1 billion market cap coin and it will pump maybe even 100, 150%. We saw what happened when they were listing Bitcoin Cash. I mean, that's a pretty big market cap coin.
Bat did have an ICO. I don't know if they're I know they're definitely, or I would think they're going to have to be very careful with compliance as to what would apply as a security. So you have these issues like when people say like would they list Neo or something with the staking of gas, that could put them in somewhat murky territory. So I'm trying to think of what would meet the criteria, and I think Ripple is clearly up there. Think what you want about that coin, but
fundamentally, Ripple's really there, and I know it's an absurd evaluation, but when it comes down to it, Ripple's supposed to be live in like 2 countries in the next couple months. I don't know if it was either Q1 of next year or Q4 of this year. They're supposed to be live in like Japan and one other country, really using the product. And if you look at a Ripple chart right now, like it's not a bad time to buy. Personally, I have such a hard time adding it to my portfolio just because I know it's not something that I want to sit and hold for 6 months. But when I'm getting more into things I want to invest in, I'd almost say Ripple might be good. What's funny is all these USD pairings. I'm starting to think that they're really gonna detach the market from Bitcoin, because if you don't need to buy Bitcoin to get into some of these alts, then what's the incentive of buying Bitcoin other than a store of value? And if you can remove the need to transfer Bitcoin and Litecoin between exchanges, is that just going to make a huge hit on the top market cap coins?
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what that does to Bitcoin dominance. And that's part of like tomorrow morning, I'm doing the AMA part 2 with Mike from Cash. And that's another problem that they're trying to solve. And I think a lot of people want to know, and I want to know, how does this affect their plan going forward? The fact that these big exchanges, Binance and Bittrex, are going to be doing US dollar pairs. And how does that tie into what they're doing with Liquid in the World Book? So I'm excited to hear how he answers that question, but it's very interesting. Here's the one thing though. When the whales decide that Bitcoin is to pump,
it pumps.
Everything will die and Bitcoin will pump. I mean, that has not changed. So, regardless of US dollar pairings or whatnot, when Bitcoin goes on a run, I don't think that's going to change, what happens as far as what goes on with the rest of the market. But yeah.
And
Sorry.
the thing that no one's really said anything about in these, possible USD pairs is how's that going to work? Like, you'll probably need a full KYC to do that. I doubt it will be instant transfers. There might be settlement periods like you're trading on a legitimate market, and I don't think anyone's taking that into account because, how could an exchange like you see Coinbase, when you do anything with USD, it takes a while, especially if it's not from a debit card. So, you're going to have to hook up your bank account. You're going to have to do KYC. And that's going to be really interesting to see what happens with these accounts. Like, our exchange is just going to grandfather in accounts that don't have KYC and say, look, if you want to do USD trading, you do KYC, but you've had your account for this certain amount of time so you can continue to, I guess, trade anonymously with Bitcoin. Or is someone like Bittrex and Binance going to say, listen, every customer needs to go through KYC if you want to keep trading on here? That's what I started to worry about today when I really was thinking about USD pairs.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting question, but in general, I think it brings more money to the market. So overall, it's good. And this whole notion that we're going to have a crypto trading space where where you get mainstream adoption, you get institutional investors that bring this market cap, into the trillions, and to think that you're going to be able to do it and not pay taxes, and feel safe about that is kind of an illusion. When you think about Bitcoin itself, it's basically they can track everywhere you spend the money. So, the tinfoil hat people, conspiracy, people have been talking about, getting rid of cash, a cashless society for many years. And, I always ask these questions. Who is Satoshi? Was Satoshi the government? Did they create this so that they could monitor, or how smart would that person be? That some Illuminati shit where they're like, we're going to pretend like it's against the banks, but we really want to know exactly where all of your money goes. And now they've created something, and they package it like it's anti-establishment, but it's actually playing right into their hands. And this is something that I think about late at night.
I think about that stuff all the time. And on top of that, it's limited supply. They know that they could send it to any price if it was really being used, which is even crazier.
No bullshit.
You know what I mean? They've never had something with infinite supply before. And they obviously fucked up with the way that they have our cash system right now, borrowing money from the central banks. I've thought about that in the past too. Like, what if this was all just really an inside job from the government?
Yeah.
But the good part about that is that would send the price to Bitcoin between, 1 and 4 million. Us people that are in right now.
The rest of the people are going to get wrecked. I mean, the people that are in now will be good, but, I mean, what if Satoshi was an alien? I asked this question too.
Well, this is the thing. I saw that one of the last messages with Satoshi is he had some interaction with the NSA. And shortly after that, he disappeared. I don't remember if it was a span of a couple of days or a couple of weeks or a couple of months, but someone showed me a message, and, he was contacted by the NSA, and then he just happened to disappear a little bit after.
Yeah.
So it's great. Maybe we should do a live stream on conspiracies. We get some crazy. We get some tinfoil hat people on here. I'm sure I could find some on Twitter, and they'd probably go off for like hours about this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So, anyways, you want to do a little AMA? You want to see what people have in the comments to ask us?
Yeah. Let's see. I guarantee someone will ask us about ZIL within like 3 seconds.
Zilliq is good.
That's what they. You like it?
I added it to my portfolio when Storm pumped. When Storm went up a lot, I sold it and I put it all
Took
into
some
Zill.
profit.
I took it
Oh, that's
into
it.
Zill and Mcash and
Some
Kyber Network.
Somebody asked. I like those calls, by the way. Somebody asked, what what do you do when your coin pumps? It was kind of like a random question, but you know,
I've talked about this before. I sell it. That's it.
so
There's so many of the different coins that I've picked up and talked about where I sell it after, it's up maybe 100, 150%, and then it will continue to go another like 4 or 500%, and I just watch
yeah,
it.
oh
And it
yeah,
sucks, and
yeah.
I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm just like, if I would have just held that, a couple more days. The best
It's
example is KuCoin shares. I picked up KuCoin
oh,
shares really cheap, the way that alts were rolling, they were listing a lot of things. The referral bonus system, I thought that that exchange was really going to have some volume, and the more
who told
volume
you about KuCoin shares first?
you did,
Tell the people.
you did. You showed me KuCoin shares a couple months ago, and you were like, "Yo, pick up some KuCoin shares." And I was like, I don't know. This exchange looks kind of shady, but no, it did loop back, and I sent it over because
It went crazy.
they were showing the same kind of growth as Binance. When you first found it, it was really the gem. Like it must have had just a couple $1 million market cap. Um, but as I saw it progress, it was doing the same thing as Binance. They started to do the community coin. They started to make a referral system, even though the Binance referral system's horrible. And then they were just listing the new coins constantly. And it's not like now where they're listing all
Yeah,
these shit coins. Like they were listing the good coins that no one else was listing. They were the
yeah,
first one who listed Dragon Chain. And so when KuCoin shares started to pump, I think I sold it at like 200% gain, and it went another 8 or 900%.
yeah. That
And
was
I
wild.
and I was
It
just
was
watching
wild.
it. I was like, I'm happy for everyone still in there, but I'm not a holder. When I get my profits, I get out, and then I start looking for the next thing. What's your
Okay,
strategy, kind of? I know that you've changed over time because you used to trade
I
a lot
have.
more like me, and now
Yeah,
you've been telling me you're holding through.
yeah, yeah. It's funny. We had this. We did like a little seminar with Ironfish yesterday, talking about these strategies. And to me, it depends on the velocity. So if it's pumping 100, 200% in a span of 48 hours, I need to sell at least some. But I if it's something that I believe in long term, I never sell the whole position anymore. I sell, let's say KuCoin, for instance, if it pumped 200% in a span of 3 days, maybe I would sell half of it, but I'd be looking to buy in at a discount, in the future, and hold on to the other half. Now, when I enter these positions that I'm confident in, um, I try to enter coins where I feel like there's minimal downside and only upside. And if it means I have to wait for that upside, I'm willing to wait. So like OCN, for instance, people keep asking about OCN.
Yep, people love OCN.
Look at that chart.
It's
I
beautiful.
mean, people are like, will it? Where's it going? Is it going to go down? It could go like this for a little while, but eventually it's going to rocket. And so I'll hold on to it, knowing that the upside is so much higher than the downside. And if it were to pump 100, 200%, maybe I'd sell some, um, but I wouldn't unload the whole thing. And it's all about projecting where you think a coin's going to go and then sticking with that. And once you become like you get the confidence where you feel that you're accurately projecting coins performance, then why go against yourself? Be patient. And I like to hit home runs, and there's nothing wrong with different strategies. I know people that will take 10, 20% and just do that over and over and over and over, and they do phenomenal. But I just found I do better when I wait. So like you're talking about your KuCoin play, that trade, had you held, for 10x, it's like boom, just you take it all in one shot, you exit all at once, or you take profit as it goes up. And I had done that so many times where I sold early and the coin went another 80, 800, 1,000%, where I decided, I'm not going to do that anymore. So now I wait. Like for people are asking about Icon, I haven't sold a unit of that. I have no interest in it. It's at $3. I have no doubts. I mean, let's take a poll. And I did this in the dojo. I said, when people were freaking out when Icon was like 250 at $2, I said, guys, in June of 2018, do you think Icon will have hit $15? Or at some point in this year, do you think Icon will make it to $15? Not one person said no. So I said, why should I be scared right now at $2? If we all think that this coin's going to go to $10, $15, $20 this year at some point, I have no need to get panic and sell. That's the way I look at it.
What you said, it's the same thing for me now. Like when I look at a coin now, I can really understand what kind of market cap it should be at, and I know that if I wait it out, I'm usually right in the long run. And patience has been the only thing that stopped me from doing that. That's why I do exit some positions early, is because I don't have the patience really, because I'm just always looking for that next big thing. And when you're holding a big bag of something and you found the next big thing, I forgot what I moved into from KuCoin shares, but something about getting new things, and that's why I think IDEX right now has so many gems, because those are all coins that are only listed on IDEX. No one's talked about them yet. No one's shilled them yet, because anyone who is shilling it, their bag's down like 60 or 70%. They shut up now. And it's really at this, you know what I mean? Like, but that's serious. Anyone who is shilling,
they're getting hate mail.
They're getting hate mail, and now you're gonna have people picking it up, knowing like it really can't go down much more unless the project's absolutely dead. And I've been digging in there. I'm finding some good stuff in there. The new coins are the ones that pump the most. Anything that hasn't had that market cycle,
Yes.
people just for some reason love. They love to see that. It got listed and it went down and it hasn't gone up at all. But for some reason, if you can see that previous peak on the chart, that's all you can think about. You're saying it's not going to go past there. It kind of holds you back psychologically for a lot of people. And so IDEX is great. Really picking up stuff in there. But it's funny you say OCN, because OCN's my moon bag right now. I bought that and I was like, I'm not even going to fucking look at it for a couple weeks or months, because I know, that's going to be that's a long time for me, dude. That's
weeks. You're impatient.
So I looked at it and I saw $18 million market cap. The CEO is the CEO of O-Bike, which has 40 million users. It's a rideshare platform for bikes in Asia. And their main advisor is the CEO of Tron. And if you notice Tron, low sat coin, pumped pretty hard, a lot of hype. What do you think they're going to try and do? They're already starting to make the hype finally with this partnership, and I'm sure that they're going to have a lot more marketing coming out as soon as that integration happens.
Tron has mainnet coming pretty soon as well.
No, it's just their testnet coming out for Tron. Tron doesn't even they don't even have a testnet out yet.
They don't have a date for mainnet? I thought it was in May.
I'm not sure about mainnet. I think the Tron testnet comes out in the next week or two.
There's got to be a Tron fanboy in here somewhere.
Yeah, just if you're a Tron fanboy and you know what's going on with that. But I swear, like, their testnet is just about to come out, which is even crazier. Justin Sun moves his own markets. Yeah, so if he moved OCN, that would go from 20 million to $200 million market cap. That's a 10x. That can keep me fed McChickens for a couple months. I see a few people talking about AXP. I looked into AXP in one of my live streams. Pretty interesting project, but I don't think it's something I'd be packing as a moon bag.
Yeah, not a fan. Vare hasn't said boo about it. You don't hear him saying anything.
Really?
No. Yeah, he's an advisor, but
they have some pretty strong. They have pretty strong advisors on the team. That's what I noticed instantly. They have some big name advisors, but if you just have the guy's name on a website, that's not going to do anything for you. How's that Lux wallet got? I see you. Yeah, I bought all my Lux at like $1, and I just haven't sold it. That's my other moon bag. Waiting for that wallet update to come out with Lux, really. The staking's been a little bad.
See, the thing about Lux, though, is because the supply is so low, what's a reasonable target for you? Let me ask.
I think 150 million.
The price is great. You think $50 for
Sorry, you cut out for 1 sec.
Yeah, like the tokens for Lux, like the market cap's so low. So
7 million right now.
Yeah, it will go up. But when I think about the max potential, for some reason I have like a hard time wrapping my head around people buying Lux token for like $200 or $150 for one Lux token.
See, I guess
a lot of the privacy coins,
a lot of the privacy coins have some pretty big numbers. I don't know why, but like Zcoin was really expensive. Wasn't that like
It's true.
$400?
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Zencash is like $17. Monero's pretty expensive as well. For some reason, in the privacy coin space, they like to have really low supply and really high prices. That's what I've started to notice. All right, I got a
Mm.
lot of questions about QLC. Do you have any QLC, KJ?
I don't. I don't. I know that's one of your gems, though. So I don't know enough about it to comment, and I don't have any.
So QLC, it's made some moves in the last couple of days. They had the Binance listing. On top of that, they just put out an update on their DApp. They're basically like a Wi-Fi and mobile network sharing platform. So, you can have
Right.
hotspots all over the world. And it's like such a big picture idea. It detracts a lot of people. They're like, this project's too big to happen. Kind of like Tron. Tron, they're just promising a lot, and it's really difficult to understand that something like that can happen. It just takes time. But so QLC, what happened was they put out that major update, and they got listed on Binance at the same time. And right now they're only listed on KuCoin. The volume on KuCoin's really bad, and so that's why we instantly saw that price increase. At this market cap, QLC, I personally picked up more yesterday when it was like 1,800 sats. I can definitely see it continuing an uptrend here.
Hmm. Interesting. Somebody asked another question. All right, so we're at 40 million on QLC. Um, yeah, yeah. I know if you're bullish on it, I need to look at it more. I know. I was researching it, but you know how it is, where every day you get hit with 10 new coins that you need to look at,
Exactly. Not only look
and
at,
then you.
because people
I mean,
expect us to talk about them, on a
yeah,
really high level. And
exactly.
I'm not just trading anymore. Like I've been doing a lot more business sides of things. Like I'm advising that ICO, and I just don't have the same amount of time that I did before. And especially in a bear market, it's hard to really get on and grind out that research for like 6 to 8 hours a day when you know that the coins that you're researching and talking about, they're not going to move for a while.
Mm, I hear you. I hear you. You kind of it's tough, but I mean, at the same time, it does offer you the ability to research because you're not trading like a lunatic anymore
Yeah,
either. I mean, I'm kind of just, but you get tired. It's a lot because truthfully, every day that like now I'm seeing Raven Coin. They keep asking about Raven Coin. I have no clue what that is. I need to figure it out. I need to know what that is. But when we come on these live streams, I'm not going to talk about a coin unless I feel very comfortable with my own research level. I don't want to look like a jerk, like I don't know what I'm
exactly.
talking about. So let's transition. Aion is something that I know
Oh,
you're very big on.
Aion, my
And
my favorite.
so Aion is interoperability, and they're partnered with Juan, who also offers an interoperability service. And how do you compare Aion to, I guess, Juan and Arc, who have their smart bridge technology as well? These are three competitors,
So
somewhat.
I've looked into Aeon significantly more than Juan or Arc, to be honest. But Aeon, from my understanding, allows you to send logic through the blockchain, not just interoperability. So like you could have smart contracts on different blockchains interacting with each other, and that's something that I don't think Juan offers, and I don't think Arc offers it either. So Aeon, their
Mm,
main focus is to make everything interact, not just trading coins, like the actual logic behind it and making sure that, you can guarantee events to happen on multiple blockchains. And just the way that the team's been presenting themselves at these conferences, I've watched a lot of the interviews with the CEO, they really have some special things going on. And the partnerships they've already had as well. Like they have a partnership with the US defense company, like a company hired from the
really?
government that does US defense. They have partnerships with multiple AI companies. And when I talk about partnerships, I always talk about partnerships that aren't cryptos because I personally think partnerships within the space are kind of just pumpy.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. You want to see real life partnerships.
Exactly. I want to see that their token's actually going to be used in real life, not just, something I can trade and make profits on. Because that's why I'm still holding it. But so the problem with Aeon, why I don't think it's really going to take off until the end of the year, but once it takes off, I mean that thing's going to go crazy, like Icon style. The whole TRS, where you could lock up your tokens in December.
Yeah.
They canceled their ICO, and I get asked about this like every day, so I might as well just say it again. So many people ask me. They canceled their ICO and they said, hey, if you want to lock up your Aion tokens, we'll guarantee you 230% over the next 12 months. You get distribute it every month. And so I was like, that's too good to be true. I got to do it. At the time, my following was just growing, so like people didn't really follow me into it. But that's right now one of the best trades I've actually made behind Dragon Chain and Lux was this Aion TRS. So every month I get distributed Aion tokens. But that's kind of keeping the price down because that means every month a certain amount of tokens enter, which means market cap goes up. And on top of that, a lot of those people start selling those tokens because of market conditions, taxes right now. So I think once Aion gets closer to launching their mainnet and this shit's really happening, we're going to see a crazy takeoff. And that I think would be Q2 or Q3. And there's only distributions until November. So, Aion, I truly think could have a $5 to $10 billion market cap. If everything they say is going to happen happens, I think Aion will be $5 to $10 billion market cap, top 10 coin for sure, maybe even top five. And that's with the prediction, obviously, of the total market cap being between like 1 and 1.2 trillion. Getting into the end of the year.
Yeah, I need to get some. I believe.
Like I said, it's not I know you're getting more into investing, but I really don't think that the price is going to do anything crazy until
Yeah.
they're closer to the mainnet launch or they announce some more big things because really that the supply entering in the market, it's like 5% of the total supply. So it really boosts the market cap, every month when that happens. And so when I'm looking at Aion, I think it's like $250 million market cap right now. I look at it knowing that it's really a $500 million market cap. And so, that's a 10x in my opinion. That's an easy 10x in my opinion. If you just get it and hold it through, the end of the year when things start to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely like appealing to me. Um, John Stimby says people sleeping on the older Bittrex coins. This and the reason why I bring that question up is because it's something that I'm sleeping on them as well, and I feel like people are sleeping on them, and that's a trend to take note of. Um, some things fall out of favor, and people want what's new and shiny,
That's what I was
and
saying.
I tend to try to play the hot hand. So when people ask me about a coin like Stratus, even though see, this is the thing, you have to compare what's hot versus what's actually doing something and what's going to accomplish their roadmap targets. And I'm trying to think of which coins come to mind off the top of my head that are older. So like something like Civic. It's not that old, but it's a bit.
Golem's the best
Yeah,
example, I
Golem.
feel like.
Golem is a great example. Yeah, Golem, Steam.
Library
These
credit,
kind
someone
of
said.
these don't move to. I just rather get into something new.
So,
Um,
going back, I said the same thing. People want new things. They want things that no one's bought yet, no one's talked about yet, hasn't pumped yet, because something about new coins just drives people crazy. And people coming into the market that are new as well, all they buy is what people are talking about. And so,
yep.
once alts start to take off, we're going to see really interesting coins being shilled, in my
I love
opinion.
Encash. I think
And
Encash is going to be like the noob favorite.
I got a big
Um,
Encash bag.
Encash is going to go. Encash is going to go wild.
I see it. I honestly see it as well. I think Zilliqa will go
You
wild,
see it, right?
and then Encash will go wild. I think the higher cap coins are going to perform better before the low caps, just because
Yeah.
of the money that's entering. If everything that we say is going on where this big money is entering, they're not going to be entering 10, $15 million coins. They're going to be entering top 100 coins. And
Hmm.
they want the working demo. They want an actual product. They want real company relationships.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I have you actually. There's another coin that you spoke about, but I'd like to hear forgive me if you've talked about this on your stream before. I'm sure you have. But Polymath sitting at 90 million does something very unique. I can't find somebody that's directly competing with them just yet. No doubt there will be ICOs that try to compete and mimic their model. But can you tell the people a little bit about Polymath and why we should be looking at that project?
So Polymath is going to allow you to put securities onto the blockchain. So that's something like if I had a hedge fund, I could actually sell equity in my hedge fund through a security token offering, which would be done through Polymath. And so Polymath is
Mm.
essentially a platform on top of Ethereum that they will supply. They're like a marketplace for all the legal advice and all the regulators that you would need. So I'm thinking about it and I'm like, okay, what's next that's going to go on blockchain? We see real estate going onto blockchain. There's no reason that like funds and different companies won't, try and sell equity through tokens. It's a lot easier to do that than a traditional IPO. And a lot of these things that we're even offering right now are technically securities. And so I'm looking
Yeah.
at it as, it sounds crazy, but you know, there's more securities than there are just utility tokens. Why couldn't Polymath have the same market cap as Ethereum, or something really crazy like Ethereum's market cap? I guess it couldn't
Wow.
overtake it because it's going to be run on top of Ethereum. But if we're not doing ICOs anymore and we're doing security tokens offerings, and to do that you use Polymath tokens, that's going to have a pretty significant increase in value.
You think ICOs are going to go away?
I mean, we're seeing it right now. No one has the balls to do an ICO right now. They don't want to mess with any of
But
that.
but I don't think the concept of crowdfunding through an ICO I think that's something that's going to stick around for a bit.
That's definitely going to
That's
stick
just my
around, and there's going to be a lot more legal framework behind it. It's going to be a lot more difficult to get into them. That's why I
yeah.
think Polymath is a good option. It's a moonshot. It's not one of those coins that I'm like, I know that this has the best team out there. This is proven technology. This is gonna slowly go up over time. It's like this shit happens. We're gonna see maybe $1 billion market cap, which would be a 10x from here. I think when I talked about it first, it was like a 6 or 7x. But really, what it's suffering from is it's just on KuCoin, and when a coin's not hot on KuCoin, there's no volume, there's no buy
Are there
walls.
any coins hot on KuCoin aside
OCN,
from OCN?
QLC. But you know what I mean? The problem with KuCoin right now is volume. When you have no volume, people start to dump things that they dump, and then people panic. And
I
that
know
was
KuCoin. I think they're trying to get more market makers on that website. That was one of the things that caused, like, I noticed right away with Binance. They had like tremendous volume. Like
Mhm.
somebody was trading, and I kind of joke and say Binance Cthulhu, but there were huge orders. Even when they first started it out, they had brought traders in that had big deep pockets, just to kind of sell into themselves to push that volume up. And I don't think KuCoin has found those guys yet to really help them with that. And once that happens, I would expect to see KuCoin grow and the coins do better there, because they are listing a lot of quality projects that you can't get anywhere else. I mean,
STK,
Dragon,
Sophia
yeah,
TX. I feel like are recent ones that
yeah.
they listed.
Sophia is a very popular, high upside project that I was very thankful that KuCoin listed it.
And they
But the
just listed
problem is,
Matrix AI, another good one.
did Matrix list already?
I believe so. I saw an announcement about it.
Hmm.
So what I forgot to say about Poly actually is something interesting I haven't talked about either. Is they're also going to allow accredited U.S. investors, because it will be a security and it will be a fully regulated security offering, so they can have accredited U.S. investors, and they'll also have a secondary market for accredited investors to trade on. And this is something that no one's talked about yet for some reason, but regulation is coming, and it's going to be a lot more difficult to make trades. And so one of the unique things that they're offering is a secondary market for their security token offerings. So right after the STO, I guess you can call it, like you'll be able to trade it on an open marketplace with a lot more liquidity and volume, um, than a traditional exchange. Like we just said, KuCoin suffers from a lack of volume. This would they would have liquidity pools in the secondary market, and it's like I said, it's just this crazy idea. It's a big idea. They got some significant people working on it. I threw a little bit in there. You can't win them all.
Yeah.
Once Bittrex opens up registration, I'm bullish. Yeah, I forgot that Bittrex is still closed. Honestly, the first thing I said, for if we want a bullish alt market, we need Chain to list, and now we need Bittrex to open.
What'd you make of that storm pump? Hmm? That was some day, right?
I was just happy. I was just happy to be in it. We haven't seen something
You were
like
in
that
it,
in a long
right?
time. Yeah, Birch told me to buy it. Bitcoin Birch was so bullish on Storm. He's like,
He did. When we did Whiskey Wednesday,
yeah,
that's when I picked up a bag as well.
he's like, you don't understand, dude. You got to buy some Storm. Like, it's gonna get listed on a lot bigger exchanges, and it's gonna go. And I thought it was gonna get listed on Bittrex because the Bittrex CEO is their main advisor. But then it
Right.
got listed on Binance. Didn't move at all on the Binance listing. Then it got listed on Upbit and went like 220%. I was trying my
Like
hardest to send it
two
over to
billion
Binance.
volume. insane.
And it's not like that's a small coin. That's like a 80, $100 million market cap that was going. I mean, that's just insane. And that
I
gave me
think
some
Storm was
hope.
like 250.
Oh, it's 250? Jeez, hold on, let me
Yeah.
check. I mean, that was a big. It's 157 right now. It's at 500 sats. It must have been like, I don't know what I'm saying. That's a decent market cap to move. Just on an exchange listing, and that made me bullish. Like if that stuff starts happening again, I'll be
Yeah.
doing a lot more research.
Yeah,
Let me.
and it wasn't just Storm that day. It was like one after the other. OCN did well, Neblio did well, Icon did well. There were a couple
Encash
other
even had a
coins.
nice pump.
Yeah,
Encash did a little bit.
and cash,
I
and it was
talked.
like the volume was going from one to the next. It
I
was
feel like
just
they were just moving around. Maybe it was an exit
it
pumps.
it, it brought back those good old feelings,
I I remember I had a full day planned and my friends were here in the morning and that all started to happen. I was like, you guys don't understand. I'm not leaving my computer today.
Yeah, I
I
had
got
a lot to do also, and I didn't move for like the whole day.
no, I was like, I haven't had a day like this in 3 months, and I've just been sitting at my computer every day waiting for this. So you're not getting me out of my house. I'm thinking we do
Yeah,
like two or three more questions, then we close it up.
yeah, I gotta get
I
get
see
going
I
a
see a
little
few
bit.
about NAS. You still bullish on NAS?
Yeah, they have the main net. I think that people are asking, do you dump it? And we talked about it ad nauseum yesterday, but I think NAS is one of the first blockchain 3.0 projects to go live with mainnet. They're not listed on Binance yet. They have an exceptional team behind them, and they're going to be able to support ICOs. Their search function is something that doesn't exist right now, and for blockchain and decentralized apps to really be practical, you're going to need Nebulas or something to beat them, but there is currently no competition. So I think that being that the price, if you look at the chart, it's not like it ran up crazily. So I don't anticipate any sort of mainnet sell the news type dump because the people holding that project believe in it. And what I would anticipate, the team has Hitter Zoo and the rest of the team have been extremely quiet. They haven't been very active. I think they're working on getting their mainnet going. And if they were to kind of ratchet up their marketing efforts, start to get more exchanges listed, start to work on some partnerships and do more marketing, you could see a very nice uptrend materialize for that project. So I do like NAS.
That's interesting you say the team's been quiet. Everyone gets worried about that, but when you have a project like NAS and the team's been quiet, that means that they just have a hell of a lot of things that they're going to unveil soon, and they're being smart about it. I'm sure they have a ton of NDAs signed. They don't have loose lips. If they're going to get on an exchange like Binance or Bittrex, they're not going to be talking about it
They
at
won't be
all.
teasing it on Twitter. You got
Exactly.
to think of compare, and you have to decide: is this project for real? Is it not? Once you've decided this is for real, then it's kind of like it's a waiting game. And similar to Venn, since they did ICO, basically the period from I think it was like September to November, you heard nothing from them. They were absolutely silent.
And then
And
they
then
just had
all at
some
once they hit you with
crazy
everything.
news. Yeah, like back to back to back, every couple days they were putting out
It
a
was
huge
wild.
announcement. So let,
Yeah.
let's let's end it on this. What's your biggest bag and what's your moon bag? I feel like we're both gonna say OCN for the moon bag. Uh,
Uh, yeah. Uh,
but if you had a
so
second moon bag next to OCN, that you were just you packed it up and you're waiting for it.
I'd say it's Matrix AI that's holding.
Matrix
It's
AI.
just, yeah, but it's performing really, really well at this point. So for me, my biggest moon bags would be OCN, Matrix, or potentially T Foods. Those three are the ones that I'm looking at to hold for through alt season and try to get those 10 to 40x returns. And my biggest position is Icon. My second largest is Cash with a Q. So that's pretty much the way my portfolio looks.
I think my biggest position right now might honestly be Encash. I
And
went back I
Cash.
went back and looked, and I think my biggest one might be Encash right now. Obviously, Moonbag, OCN. I looked at Matrix AI the other day. That I can definitely see it having some extremely crazy gains just because of the technology behind it. You know how they want to use MCMC for the proof of work, which is
Yeah.
Markov chains. Markov chains essentially are like they're used in statistics mostly for modeling probabilities on a pretty heavy scale. And you know what I mean? If like if you have some AI that's doing computations to try and generate like the best gene possible, that uses the same computation as Markov chains. So they'd actually be able to use the proof of work in a real setting. Like, we won't just be wasting electricity. They'd be able to compute pretty useful statistics using their proof of work. And the cool thing about Markov chains is they're extremely computationally heavy. There's no easy way around it. There's going to be no ASICs miners. Like, that shit takes a lot to compute. I'm getting some bad flashbacks from one of my stats classes. But AI, Matrix AI, I'm gonna pick up a huge bag. It's just the roadmap for me. It's a little too long.
It is very long. Yeah, no,
And in
I
a
know.
market like right now, I'm not really trying to pick up long bags. I'm trying to pick up some things that I know I can flip. They're gonna have some pretty substantial gains once the market turns around, because we got to make up for the bear trend. And so I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to be picking that up.
For whatever reason with Matrix, so it's one of those things where right now, if you looked at it, it's a total speculative play.
Mhm.
They don't really have anything, and you're basically betting on will they begin to execute on what they plan, and it's a very long project. That being said, the reason why I like it a lot right now, even, is just immersing myself in crypto as we do, with Twitter and Discord and all this. I just see a tremendous amount of excitement around Matrix AI, and a lot of support and hype building in its community. Is it justified or
The
warranted?
white
Maybe not.
paper is pretty. It's some pretty good stuff in that white paper. That was one of the better ones I've
Right.
read
You
in a
know,
long time.
it's a nice white paper, but we don't know if they're going to execute. But
Exactly.
the point that I'm trying to make is that in the space, I see a lot of people excited about it, and that's what makes me want to get into it.
That's why I got into
Sometimes you got to
Zilliqa.
read.
People are so
Yeah,
excited
yeah.
about
I
Zilliqa,
always say that.
and it hasn't pumped yet. And like, there's this many people that are talking highly about the project, especially people that I really respect in the space. It's gonna have its day, and I can wait for that. But so that's one of the things I'm waiting for with Matrix is I want to see a big update, because what they're trying to do, actually making a proof of work useful. Obviously, everyone's trying to do that. Why would you just look for a random number to try and finish the block, essentially? But no one's been able. It's been what 9 years, and no one's been able to make a proof of work useful. Shit's got to be complicated. Like, it's got to be pretty complicated. And so once I see that update, knowing that they can actually implement it, that's when I'll start to pack my bag of Matrix. But for me, my two moon bags, obviously they're both only on IDEX right now. Tomo and Legolas. Those are going to be my moon
Tomo.
bags.
Before we hop off, show me Tomo because I hear it all the time.
Tomo, okay, so it's just another one of those like next gen blockchains. There's nothing that crazy about it that's different. It just has it has a unique way of scaling. It's gonna have dApps on it. The reason I like it is the NEM founder is on there. And it's the same thing with
Yeah,
OCN. Like,
yeah.
you see these guys that have made billion-dollar coins before. What's the reason that they're not going to do the same thing? Like, I'm going to trust them with a 15 to 20 million dollar project. They're not leaving a $4 billion project for nothing. So
That's
that
why I got into EOS.
exactly,
Larimer, BitShares,
and
Steam.
they
The
perform.
track record exists.
If you have a track record in this space, that means, first of all, you have the connections. You have any connections you need to get listed, most importantly, on exchanges, to fund yourself if you need it.
Huh.
And on top of that, you know all the devs, you've been around, and you know what sells.
So
Tomo,
Tomo,
Vietnamese
what
Ethereum, supposedly.
Vietnamese Ethereum? So that's 24 million market cap.
Mhm.
Vietnamese Ethereum, huh?
I did a little write up on it. I'll send it to you after this.
I don't know. The name is they got to work on that name.
Tomo chain.
No, Vietnamese Ethereum. It sounds kind of
That's
bootleg.
that's the first time I've saw it as Vietnamese Ethereum. To be honest, someone just wrote
I
that in the
wouldn't
chat.
use if you're chilling it. Don't use that. That's
No.
not great. But I do like the fact that it's only at 44 cents and the circulating supply is 55 mil. And so basically you're saying it's a smart contract platform for Vietnamese businesses created by some of the founders of NEM, right?
One
Am
of
I
the
correct?
founders of NEM
One of
is
the
the CEO
founders.
on the project.
Do they have any partnerships?
I have not seen any partnerships from them.
Yeah.
I can check.
Okay.
Like, I only read
They
the
did.
white
They did
paper.
They were an ICO though, right?
They were an ICO. What I like the most about their ICO, they did a really small raise. They did 7 million, mostly in private sale, and that's
Fair.
it. They knew that's all that they need. And then when it got listed at like 2 to 3x ICO. $25 million market cap though. I'm picking that up. A lot of blockchain 3.0 platforms are in the 150 to $200 million range. Even like Extra Bytes. After I talked about Extra Bytes, it was significantly undervalued. It's up to about 150 million dollar market cap right now, and I think that's where these platforms belong because, they could easily go and become a $2 to $3 billion market cap if they perform, if they can challenge Ethereum, if they're going to be able to challenge EOS when it comes out. But until then, it's very speculative.
Yep.
All right,
right.
KJ. I gotta say thank you, of course, for coming on with me. People have been asking me for a while to bring you on for Altcoin
Yeah, I
Tuesday.
don't know why you did it, man. What was
Soon,
going on with
soon.
that?
I'm gonna bring you on more. Let's try and do this once a month.
It's always a pleasure, and I appreciate you having me on, man.
All right, be good. I'll talk to you soon.
Take care, everybody.
See you guys.